Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Seiben here for the Aether Hub, bringing you some more Magic the Gathering speculation. Now, if you know me, then you're already aware of the disdain I hold towards the ever-growing presence of the Gatewatch. It's not that I necessarily hate the idea of some central characters in MTG, but more that I'm afraid that with so much focus on these core 5, now 6, we could potentially miss out on some really interesting new Planeswalkers. Just think of it, there's only so many cards and Planeswalkers in a given set. If the entire Gatewatch is involved with every story, that doesn't leave much room for new faces now, does it? Luckily, Mark Roseawater has heard a lot of our complaints, and apparently they're looking to curb the Gatewatch a little moving forward. In his blogatog, Mark responded to this concern by saying this: "When we started with the Gatewatch storyline, we began with the assumption that the Gatewatch, the core 5 at least, should always be represented on Planeswalker cards in Standard, and remember, Standard was 18 months at the time. As we started to roll out this plan, we got feedback from many of you that this was problematic. You think? Yes, you wanted Gatewatch Planeswalkers, but we didn't need to do them so often. You wanted the opportunity to see other favorites return or have new Planeswalkers in some of those slots. We heard you, but we work far ahead, so there's always a gap before you can see us react to feedback. Hours of Devastation was the first set that we could revamp how we did this. So, starting with Hour, we've pulled back significantly on how often Gatewatch Planeswalkers appear. They'll appear when it's important, but at a much slower rate. We will use those slots instead to do more returning and new Planeswalkers. And there you go, starting with Hours of Devastation, we should be seeing a lot more returning and new Planeswalkers involved in sets. Finally, the Gatewatch fest we've been living under is starting to die down a little, and to me, that's fantastic news. I mean seriously, how many Gideons, Chandras, and Nissas do we need to have in one standard environment, even if they do happen to change their color pairings a bit? We know it's you, Nissa, you're not fooling anyone. So now it's time to get into speculation mode. With the Gatewatch taking a back seat, what new Planeswalker could we possibly see in Hours of Devastation? Will one of the 3 gods who have been forgotten return with the defeat of Nicol Bolas, revealing to all that it's actually a Planeswalker? Our first god Planeswalker? Maybe that's why Bolas got rid of them in the first place. It reminded him of the power he once had prior to the mending. Yes guys, that was a joke. In fact, I don't even think we'll see a new Planeswalker on Amonkhet. Back when we were just looking at the packaging art, and even up to halfway through the spoiler season, people were looking at this particular character as a possible new Planeswalker native to Amonkhet. I mean, there wasn't any evidence to support that other than her being on packaging, and as it turns out, it was just the art for Honored Crowd Captain, an uncommon. But that doesn't 100% mean there won't be a native Planeswalker on Amonkhet, one who may make their appearance in the Hours of Devastation. It just means with less time to develop their story, it's not very likely. Yet still, it looks like Nicol Bolas designed this world to find warriors loyal to him, and of course, Planeswalkers are always preferred. So maybe during the Hours of Devastation, one could rise up and have their spark ignite. Which character has the potential development and possible trigger to become a Planeswalker? Well, my guess would be Samut, voice of Dissent. When the hour arrives and Bolas shows himself, she becomes vindicated in her beliefs that the whole world of Amonkhet was basically a lie, like she's been saying the entire time. Seeing the destruction of her home around her, Samut's Planeswalker spark ignites and she joins the fight against the God Pharaoh. Sounds great, right? Well, I still put it at a slim chance of actually happening. But certainly possible. There's just more likely candidates. Remember, Mark said that this opens slots up for new and returning Planeswalkers. Nicol Bolas is certainly returning without a doubt, but since he's a bad guy, we'll probably need someone else to round it out. We got a new Liliana, Gideon, and Nissa in Amonkhet, so they're not getting new cards in Hours of Devastation. Not to mention we just got off a massively Chandra-centric story on Kaladesh, so she's probably out as well. I would suggest Jace. He does have some bad blood with Bolas, but I'm not sure. It just doesn't feel like his set. A Johnny Goldmane makes sense. He's defeated Bolas once before and he left to go get help. Maybe he returns with said help just in time to save the crew. But then again, we just had him printed in Aether Revolt and he's now part of the Gatewatch, so it doesn't really help with the expansive argument here, but his help, whomever that may be, could. He went to Dominaria, which used to, and probably still does, have a lot of Planeswalkers on it. Ancient and powerful Planeswalkers who could easily hold a grudge against the evil dragon Nicol Bolas. Yet if you ask me which one, I wouldn't even begin to know the answer. Could be an old face or a brand new friend. Either way, it's certainly a possibility. Of course, we could see the return of another villain, maybe opening the way to 3 Planeswalkers in Hours of Devastation. Tezzeret. I know, I just said Ajani wouldn't get a new card because he was just printed in Aether Revolt, just like Tezzeret. But one difference. Tezzeret ain't part of the Gatewatch. Of course, we don't know where Tezzeret went after his fall on Kaladesh, and while he was working for Bolas, he certainly isn't his best friend. So even this idea is pretty unlikely. I guess I personally just hate how his story ended on Kaladesh, and I'd love to see it pick up and potentially end more conclusively in Hours of Devastation. But even as I say this, I know that it's a long shot. So this video was kinda all over the place. What was my point again? Oh yeah, so with Hours of Devastation, expect a trend where we'll see less of the Gatewatch, at least on cards. As for the Planeswalkers we'll see in Hours of Devastation itself, well, Nicol Bolas is a given, and I think Ajani will come back with some mystery help. But outside of that, I doubt we'll see any of the normal Gatewatch in the set. As for new Planeswalkers native to Amonkhet, it's unlikely, but we could see the spark of a new Planeswalker ignite in real time. Most likely that of Samut, but still I'm not holding out hope. Anyway guys, let me know what Planeswalkers you'd like to see in Hours of Devastation and moving forward with this less of a Gatewatchy presence. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video and want to support the Hub here on YouTube, make sure you leave this video a like and subscribe for more awesome MTG content. As always guys, thank you all so much for watching and I'll see you next time here on the Aether Hub.